Good morning, students of class 9. Welcome back to the online classes. All of you are welcomed here. Now today we'll do history. We are doing peasants and farmers, the second part. The peasant and farmer of America, USA. We have finished about England. So now here in our previous class we have done some about this 2.2. Today we will finish this 2.2. The wheat farmers of America, of these great plains, the mid plains as well as the vast forests, they were cut down and turned into cultivated land. So now there was a great demand for food grains during First World War. This we have done in our previous class. During First World War there was a great demand for food grains, especially in European countries, because the European countries were at war and the supply from Russia also was cut off, and the Eastern Europe was also not producing any food. So America had the chance to produce food and export to European countries. We have talked about. Now in the second also we have talked about President Wilson. At that time the President of America was Wilson. President Wilson of America called upon the farmers to take the opportunity to meet the need of the hour. So to grow more food. He said, President Wilson said, plant more wheat, wheat will win the war. Till here we have done. How can the soldiers fight without food? They cannot fight in their empty stomach. So they require food. And the population of Europe also require food, because the food grains were not produced in Europe, as well as the supply from Russia was also cut off. So taking the advantage and the opportunity, President Wilson said to the farmers, grow more food to meet the need of the hour, and grow more wheat. Plant more wheat, wheat will win the war, he said. Now here, in 1910, 45 million acres of land in USA was under wheat. This we have talked about. In 1910, 45 million acres of land was under cultivation. This land was actually the forest and the grassland. They have cut down the trees and they started growing wheat. 45 million acres were cut down, the trees, and crops were grown there. 9 years later, after 9 years, that means 1919, 9 years later it became 74 million acres. From 45 to 74 million acres. This increase was due to the new lands they were included in the agricultural field. The trees were cut down, the grasses were uprooted, and the land was converted into agricultural field to grow more wheat to meet the demand of the European countries. So this increase was due to new lands that were brought under cultivation. This increase was due to new lands that were brought under cultivation. New lands were included. Big wheat farmers, big landlords, wheat farmers called wheat barons. These big wheat farmers are called wheat barons. Wheat baron means they controlled as much as 2,000 to 3,000 acres of land individually. One farmer, he had 2,000, 3,000 acres of land. Vast areas of lands were under cultivation. Every individual possessed 2,000 to 3,000, sometimes more than that, 4,000 acres of land. Such a huge lands. So you see that. Now here, this is the 2.2, the last portion. Now we have 2.3. The coming of new technology. The coming of new technology also helped them to grow more food, to include more areas under cultivation, such as the white settlers moved to new habitats, new forests, new lands, and new lands. They moved further west and they cut down the trees and turned the land into cultivated field. So they modified their farming tools. Whatever farming tools they had, they modified according to their requirement. implements. Farming tools means implements to meet their requirements or needs. To uproot the stump, to uproot the grasses, they require tools. When they entered mid-western prairie, in the forest they can cut down the trees and uproot the stump by digging it and cutting the roots they can uproot. But what about the grasslands? When they entered the mid means middle, western prairie, the grassland of Americas, in the central part of America there is a vast grassland, that's called prairie, grassland. Their tools became ineffective. Their tools became ineffective, became useless. Why? Because due to thick mat of grass. The grasses have been grown there for hundreds and hundreds of years. Nobody was there. Nobody lived there. The grasses, tall grasses have grown there, and their roots are deep. Their roots have gone deep, and it's very difficult to uproot the grasses. So their tools became ineffective due to thick mat of grasses with tough roots. Their roots are very tough. It cannot be uprooted. It cannot be taken out. So their tools become ineffective there. Now they have to find out new ways, new methods and new tools have to be invented to uproot these grasses. So now the coming of technology helped them to uproot these thick mat of grasses. What new technologies were added there? What new technologies they have adopted? Let's talk about in our next class. This was for today. You go through this properly, 2.2 and 2.3, the wheat farmers, peasants and farmers. So the lesson is given there about the portion, which portion we are talking about. It's mentioned clearly so that you can read as well to make it clear and understand carefully. So in the class I will explain properly, but still you go through the book as well at home so that it becomes perfect, so you will forget. So that's all for today. We'll meet in the next class, and thank you for watching the video. Stay safe, study regularly at home. Every day I'll tell you. So to remind you that you must not waste your time. So that's all for today. Thank you very much.